What's up, everybody? It's me, Tiana Talks. Right now, I am calling all Real Housewives of Atlanta fans. All Real Housewives of Atlanta fans, please log in. Come on, come get in this video. Meet me in my comments because today we are going to put this to bed. We are going to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, the whole evolution of the show, how good it used to be, and how, unfortunately, it's starting to sink. I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about Miss Porsha Williams, who has been a very hot topic on this show, off the show. It's been a lot of buzz about Miss Porsha. I want to talk about how she's changed. I want to talk about Miss Phaedra, and I want to talk about the current cast members and the former stars that are no longer on the show that helped shape the show, and how their dismissal has kind of, played a factor in how the show is the way it is today. But like this video, subscribe to my channel. Now let's dive into this tea. So I don't want to ramble and make this video too long, but I'm going to cut to the point and just so be it. The best seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta definitely was season 5 and season 6. And this is back when we had Nene, Cynthia, Kenya, Porsha. Kenya and Porsha were new to the show. And the reason why I say this season was the best seasons, because everyone had a man, and if you didn't have a man, you at least brought whoever you were honestly dating onto the show. And even if, people accused Kenya of renting her boyfriend back then, season 5, but I do think she was dating him for real. I actually do. But here we go. The reason why that show worked out, everyone was just honest and open for the most part. Phaedra still didn't share every little detail. She's always been a bit restricted when it came to airing out her true laundry. But the women were honest. Cynthia and Peter used to go through it financially. Peter and his issues, they were just open. Nene used to go at it with Greg. She even divorced him and was working on getting back with him. And they got back together on the show. She was honest. Porsha was going through it with her husband at the time, Cordell. At first, she tried to hide it that first season, right? She was trying to act like it was all picture perfect. And Porsha almost got the chopping block that first season. But luckily, she got spared at the reunion. And when she came back on that next season, that girl was an open book and was like, yeah, this marriage isn't really working. Okay, boom. Everyone brought something to the show. Also, season 5 and 6 was a lot of chaos between Kenya, Phaedra, and Apollo. That was good TV, if we're going to be honest. You know why? People had mixed opinions. A lot of people felt like Kenya was wrong for her behavior. Back then, we had this whole moral police on the show. The women helped hold each other accountable, right? People could tell Kenya, hey, Kenya, you were wrong for this. You shouldn't have been texting Apollo. Today on the show, no one is able to do that. If anyone tries to hold someone accountable, and I'm going to use an example, Porsha fans, back up off me because I'm using this as an example. Anything with Porsha, how you brought a woman onto the show, introduced her as a friend. You can say you're not friends, whatever. No one really cares. You introduced her as a friend. You hung out with her a few times on and off camera. You went to her house. Looks like a friend to me. You introduced someone onto the show, and then the next time we see you on the show, you're married to that lady's husband. Okay? How come Kelly or Angela or whoever, how come people can't ask Porsha about it? Why not? Back in season 5 and 6, we had people tackling Kenya almost over her texting Apollo, right? And I don't even think they found any sketchy texts between them two. It was just texting or flirting on the camera a little bit, right? Still wrong, still inappropriate, of course, right? But people held it accountable. The whole group got on Kenya about it. And the viewers did too. And people still love Kenya. You guys can still love Porsha. But let's be honest, people were holding Kenya accountable. And that made the show juicy. And then Kenya took accountability. And Kenya apologized and Kenya owned it. Okay? And that was that. Kenya was able to rise up after that and became like a star on the show. Now, the problem we're having today is that that's not possible. Everyone is afraid to hold each other accountable in this group today. You can't go against the fan favorites. Porsha has become a fan favorite. And I will say, a long time ago, I used to like Porsha. I felt bad for her. But Porsha has clearly changed a lot throughout the seasons, okay? Porsha went from being this, poor pity party, not so smart housewife who wanted to make her own money and wanted to be her own person to, turning into the queen of Thoughtlandia, as she would refer to herself, to lying on people whenever you're arguing, accusing them of grape. I'm saying grape, not the actual word, Candy and her. You're accusing people of trying to do things to you illegally. I mean, really, like, Porsha has definitely turned into a whole different person. And then even after that, we started liking Porsha again because she does have some funny and charmingness to her. And then literally not too long after, it was just more lying. You took a break from the show. Okay, cool. You came back with this woman's husband who we saw you meet on TV, and you want us to not talk about it? Are you crazy? This is not Real Housewives of Atlanta then, because for years on this show, people have been able to talk about what they see. And we have saw Porsha meet this man on TV, and then you're married to him, then you're going through a divorce, and we can't talk about it. We can't ask you what made you want to do it. Like, we can't, and why? And okay, fine. If the viewers can't, fine. But at least the woman on the show, why not? This is our job, right? And not to mention, how are we supposed to know that you don't look at us like that? Because you're saying, oh, but she wasn't really my friend. That means you could do the same thing to us. You would have no problem getting with our husbands. So at the end of the day, it's weird. We saw just last season, Porsha was telling the girls that she would sleep with Angela's husband. Come on now. And nobody is going to say anything about it. Do you think that Porsha could say that to Cynthia back in the day? Do you think she could have said that about Nene's husband, Candy's husband? Do you think that would have flew with any of those women from Real Housewives of Atlanta season 5, 6, 7? Do you guys remember season 7 of Real Housewives of Atlanta? That was still a good season. Claudia versus Porsha. Okay, Claudia was calling Porsha out for sleeping with married men, different African men, etc. Now, at the time, this was our first time even hearing about Porsha sleeping with married men or African men and, basically being a sugar baby. That was our first time. So, of course, everyone was defensive of Porsha. Even me, I was thinking, wow, they're just really ganging up on Porsha. They're just not that nice, right? Whole time, I don't think they were ever lying. I don't think none of that was a lie. But it was good TV because Porsha took that licking, she fought back, and they kept it going. But today, again, people can't talk about what they know without things getting to the next level, to the point where, oh, this person just doesn't like her and this is no longer a good show. We don't want them on the show. Porsha's mastered lying, manipulating on the show, and she does a very good job. For example, her and Shamea, they had a sit down last season, that little dinner they sat down together at a restaurant. That dinner was an epic fail. Shamea tried to talk to Porsha about how she was feeling in her friendship. Porsha wouldn't give it to her. And I know some of you guys are thinking, oh, well, why does she need to air out her friendship on TV? Wrong, wrong, wrong. These two are on a show together. They are on a reality show together. It would have cost Porsha nothing to say, okay, yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, yep, you're right. I'm sorry. I did do that. I don't know why I'm feeling like that. Shamea would try to bring up things that Porsha was saying and doing to her. And Shamea even mentioned that Porsha told her, Shamea said this on camera. Shamea said, they're going to have to pay me more money if you want me to be the real me on TV. That's what Porsha said to Shamea. Why on earth? Porsha is getting paid a hefty salary from Bravo to be on this show. Why are we not knowing the truth? Even this season, and I have to say, this is pretty disappointing, Shamea, because we already know Porsha and Phaedra are going to talk about whatever they feel like they can talk about now because they no longer have people holding them accountable anymore. But Shamea, you're still securing your peach. And this is why the show isn't good anymore. Shamea came onto this first episode in the season saying that her and Porsha fell out again over text messages after the reunion. And she kind of mimicked what the text messages were. She wouldn't even show us a screenshot. You could have at least read it, showed us a screenshot, or you could have been more vocal about what exactly you guys spoke about. But you didn't tell us. You just mimicked that you guys were kind of like arguing back and forth and threatening to fight each other. That is so stupid. If you don't tell us what happened, because guess what? You and Porsha aren't friends no more. And you're probably not going to be friends again, to be very honest with you. I don't really see that happening, right? At least not real friends, at least. Okay? You want to be famous. Shamea clearly wants to be very famous. She wants the reality fame. Okay, cool, fine. You could at least work for it, though. You're going to have to work for it. You're not going to be on this show long if you're thinking you can play the rabbit games that Porsha does. Porsha has been on this show for a very long. She's very controversial. She's here to stay. Shamea, you're still securing your bag. If you think that you can skip dinners, that's another thing. Shamea has been skipping scenes, skipping group dinners. If you think you're going to do that, if you think you're not going to share details about whatever you and Porsha have been arguing about, then you're not going to be on this show long, because what are you guys really giving us? And I have to say, K. Michelle, this season, it's her first season. I would want to give her some grace, but I'm going to be honest with all of these women. All of this riddling and, oh, I heard that you were going to do this to me. And, there's certain people in the group. I'm not saying no names. No, just say it, because that's not Real Housewives of Atlanta. Do you guys remember when Cynthia confronted Phaedra about Phaedra talking about her over the phone? This was a long time ago. I want to say this was season 5. Cynthia confronted Phaedra face to face and let her know, hey, I had actually heard on recording audio that you were talking about me. Okay? That's how you handle things on the show. Face to face. Okay? In the group or one-on-one, you just handle it. You speak about it. You speak about things that didn't happen when filming, but during the season. That's what you do. That's what the Real Housewives do. And these women are no longer doing that. These women are, I want to say, entitled to an extent, if I'm going to be very honest. Now, I want these women to work. I want them to get their nice coin from Bravo. But if I'm going to be real and speak about what's wrong with this show today, a lot of these women have become very entitled. They don't want to talk about their real lives, and they think they should just look cute and do the bare minimum and collect their check. Drew is another person who is sinking the show. Drew, this season, I haven't heard much about her divorce. I'm hearing about most of her divorce off of the show. And if you guys aren't up to date, maybe you haven't been hearing behind the scenes or on the blogs, on the social media and whatnot. Drew's been going through a lot. She even got kicked out of her house by a judge, okay? Drew is claiming that she's about to be homeless. Now, we're not hearing about that on the show. Drew's not talking about it in that show. We found out that Drew wasn't even taking her kids to school like she was supposed to. And the judge found her to be, not doing what she's supposed to do. And the judge ordered for her to just leave the house, okay? And that Ralph get custody for now. Why are we not hearing about that on the show? So like I said, the show has definitely lost its spark. Season 5 and 6 were like the golden seasons of this show. I would say another disappointing factor is Phaedra Parks, okay? Phaedra was good TV for a long time, right? And don't get me wrong, Phaedra has always been sneaky, funny, definitely caught a few lies, of course, right? But she was always confronted. I will say now, I am not seeing that. I don't see it. Phaedra's doing nothing at all. She's not giving anything. She's very good at masking and hiding and lying. And again, we're going to see what happens next, but it just seems like there's just nothing there. All she does is make her little faces and, child, and her little one-liners, and it's just old. It's very old. Phaedra doesn't say anything to anyone's face. She's a confessional gangster. She talks a lot of trash in her confessionals, never in anyone's faces. So this show has been sinking, okay? Sinking. Porsha is a big factor in this show being the way it is. If I'm going to be completely honest, like I said, y'all Porsha fans, I really don't care. I'm not going to tussle with you guys about someone that y'all don't even know in person. On this show, Porsha is definitely not bringing it. I don't care what anyone says. That guy that she brought onto this season, if you can't tell that's a fake relationship, I don't know what to tell you. It's just so fake. So fake. Really, why are we not talking about how, what I would like to know from Porsha, did you or did you not call ICE on that man? Did you call ICE on Simon? Yes or no? Okay. I want to know why you decided to stay in that house instead of going back to your old house or buying a cheaper home than the one that you're trying to stay in. We know that things have been harder on you financially by taking ownership of that house or trying to pay all the bills in it. We can tell, we know, plus, if you check out my old videos, I was one of the first YouTubers who reported when Porsha sold her mom's house or her house that she let her mom stay in. Because, she's trying to maintain the house that Simon bought. Let's talk about that. We're not really getting the real. You know what else? What I would love to know about Miss Porsha? The last time we saw you on TV before you got back on, you were assaulting Dennis's mother with plates. You were throwing plates at him and his mom, threatening to beat them up. You were throwing hands, knocking your baby daddy upside the head. We want to know what's up with that. What's up with you and the mom, Miss Gina? Let's see how y'all relationship is now. Can we talk about that? Let's talk about Dennis's fiance. Dennis has a fiance, y'all. Dennis lives with his fiance in his home. Okay? How come we've never met her? Let's see how you all co-parent together. We always have to see who you're dating, and we have to hear about Dennis running around your circus. Let's hear about all of that. How come we don't get to see that stuff? What happened to Hosea Foundation that you came onto the show using that as a package for you, that was a part of your storyline when you first came onto the show? Why are we not hearing about Black Lives Matter? Are you no longer an activist? I would like to know what's really going on. I just want to know, Phaedra, who are you really dating? Phaedra, do you still practice law? There's just so much things. I don't understand what's going on. Kelly, who are you really dating? Why can't we know his real name? Why can't we see who you're dating? Now the other stuff for Kelly, I will say it's unfortunate. She's not allowed to really speak about her children or have them on the show because she's going through a lawsuit with her ex-husband. So that's unfortunate. But other than that, Drew, let us know what's really going on with you, please. Shamea is another one. I like Shamea sometimes, and then sometimes it's like too much. Last season, I couldn't stand her. Initially, we all were excited about her getting on, and then we realized that she wanted to continue to be a lapdog. Okay, Shamea, you're doing better this season, no longer being a lapdog, and I think that's mostly because Porsha doesn't really want to be your friend anymore. But let's be very honest. If Porsha don't want to be your friend, you are still on this show. You need to be very vocal about what you and her are going through. But yes, guys, the Real Housewives of Atlanta is just going completely downhill. I miss when the girls were on the show and they weren't afraid to speak their mind. Like Candy. Candy was someone who would say how she felt to whoever she felt like she needed to say it to. Candy was not scared of Kenya or Nene. And those were two of like the most, vocal women on the show. Candy has gone at it with Nene. Candy has gone at it with Porsha, Phaedra. Candy has even gotten into it with Kenya a few times, okay? And she wasn't scared, not nan time, okay? These ladies, they are afraid. You have Angela. Angela, how in the world are you buddy buddy with Porsha, who said she would sleep with your husband? How are you following up behind her? How are you so cool and buddy buddy with Phaedra, the same one who said you were the oldest looking 40-something-year-old she had ever seen in her life? You let Phaedra say that about you, but you're so mad at Shamea. And don't get me wrong, Shamea was wrong to, make fun of Angela's looks last year and call her LaToya Jackson, whatever. But if you can get over all the stuff with Porsha and Phaedra, then surely you can move forward with Shamea. Pinky, I like Pinky on the show. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion, but let's be for real. Pinky has been very transparent on the show. She done told us about her finances, okay? Right? She calls all the ladies out on the show. She has no problem speaking her mind. And I can't wait to see her gather up Miss Kelly for really being the one who was talking about her eating meat. But that was another problem in this show, right? They are not honest. Shamea was going around talking about oh yeah, Phaedra was saying that you eat meat. No, Shamea, that was your friend Kelly. Let's just keep it a buck on this show. But you guys let me know what you guys think. Honestly, I have been talking to a lot of people. No one's enjoying the show like how we used to back in the day. The show has gone downhill. I don't even think... I honestly, if I had to be honest and just put a good cast together, and I hope this is not asking for too much, Bravo, hear me out. Bring back the cast from season 5 and 6. Bring back that entire cast from season 5 and 6. That was good TV. And if you can't do that, then you need to at least bring on women who are not afraid of Porsha and Phaedra. Now, if you could bring on Sheree, that would be good. Sheree will speak her mind. Bring back Marlo as a friend of the show. She was too much as a full-time housewife. Her character, I'm just saying she has a strong personality. But bring back Marlo. You don't think Marlo would check Porsha? Come on. Like, we just have to. Bring back Nene. Nene would get all these women together. Kenya would get them all to... I mean... Come on, we need some more stronger personalities because we all know Cynthia is fun on the show. She can be funny, but Cynthia adjusts to whoever the main character on the show is. So when Nene was on the show, Cynthia was buddy-buddy with Nene. When Kenya was on the show, Cynthia was buddy-buddy with Kenya. Now, Porsha and Phaedra are the only main characters on the show, so Cynthia has to kind of follow behind them in her mind. Cynthia goes wherever the wind blows, as y'all remember Nene saying. So she's not really holding Porsha accountable either. But you guys like this video, meet me in my comments and tell me what you guys think. Peace.